All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is David Scott, and I'm a psychic medium. So I do readings one-on-one, where I'll bring through someone from spirit, along with evidence, and from there, normally I provide a message. But I also do collective energy readings. So I'll jump onto YouTube like I'm doing now, read your energy as a group, which I've already done in meditation, and try and help us navigate the week ahead. So, speaking of which, the week ahead that I'm focusing on now is obviously, well, pretty much from now, the 25th of July, right through until Sunday, the 3rd of August. Now, just over the last couple of weeks or so, just to sort of explain a bit about what's happening with me, because I've been a bit silent lately. So, if you've posted a message on my website or anything like that, or if you've sent a web inquiry through, I haven't responded to it. I haven't. Yeah, the energy's been very chaotic over the last couple of weeks. I've felt. I feel like I've personally been moderately affected because I haven't been meditating enough. For those of you who have been meditating, you may have had an easier time of it. For those of you who don't meditate, I don't know. Some of you may have had a fairly rough time, although some of you may not, may have been protected as well. Now, obviously over the last couple of weeks, I still have a 9 to 5 job as a truck driver. So there's been a few long hours there, and driving trucks tends to take a bit of energy out of you. But normally with meditation, I tend to have that energy in reserve, and I just haven't been meditating as much as I should have. So, but I'm starting to correct that. So that's part of the reason why I'm jumping on. I feel like I've got the energy to do a reading. Now, I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. Part of the reason why I really wanted to jump on today is because I do feel like these energies are continuing. So, probably not the best news. So I did feel as though there's still that sort of chaotic energy around. Now, for those of you who know a little bit about astrology, please feel free to put a comment in the comment section. But I did get the image there that Mars was actually affecting things. So I feel like the planet Mars is actually in play here. I did do a little bit of a Google search, and yeah, it did seem to mention that Mars is affecting our energies a bit, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know where Google was pulling that information through, because it was the Google AI picking up the information. All right, so for those of you in the know, please feel free to leave a comment. I've obviously got to read up on this stuff, so I'm getting messages about astrology, and I really need to, it would seem that Spirit's sort of guiding me in that direction to learn more about it. Anyway, that aside, I am feeling as though a lot of us who are meditating, we really need to step that up at the moment. I've been giving a similar message for the last year, I feel like, actually. It's been a fairly chaotic year, and as a couple of people have reminded me, this is in terms of numerology, this year is a number 9, so it's a bit of a rough year. Cycles coming to a close and new cycles beginning. So, and I've definitely felt that personally, and I know a number of people who have really felt that strongly. Now, so meditation's very important. So if you're doing that, great. If not, you don't have to get into anything elaborate. All you really need to do is just sit there and, preferably in silence, and try as much as possible to focus on the present moment. So that can be done, some people can do it easily through just sort of clearing their mind, or just imagining, say for example, a flame or something like that. Or you can just sort of sit there and focus on something. Like I've got a plant just directly ahead of me. I can probably focus on that for a little bit. If your mind wanders, don't panic. For those, I've been meditating for a long time, And if I go a minute, I'm celebrating. So for me, it's normally 15 seconds, maybe up to half a minute. So it's something that takes many, many, many years to practice. But when you do jump into the present moment, even if it's for a couple of seconds, you do feel that peace. Okay, because you're not focusing on the past where all your trauma is. I say trauma loosely. You know, it could be bad memories, or it could legitimately be trauma. Or you're not focusing on the future, where a lot of our anxiety is. You know, a lot of our thoughts about, oh, what's going to happen in the future? Oh, I've got this coming up for work. You know, like for myself, for example, oh, I've got to drive in wherever. You know, how am I going to do that? Especially if it's the city. Anyway, just things like that. You know, focusing on the present moment takes our minds off both ends of the scale, and that's where you do actually start to feel that peace coming through, and that can really strengthen us when it comes to chaotic weeks like we've had, and chaotic weeks like I look, in all honesty, like I feel we're going to have. So specifically, I'm feeling as though there's still some triggers there. Some of us have dealt with them. Some of us will still be experiencing them over the next week. The important thing here is not to react wherever possible. Okay, so your experience is your experience. You don't have to let anybody else dictate it. Okay, don't let that Mars energy affect you. All right, so now that's as far as the week ahead. I do feel as though, as I said, there's that chaotic feel. Now, as far as meditation goes, for those of us who are used to drawing energy in, and for those of you who are interested, it's just a matter of sitting in silence and visualizing energy coming in through our crown chakras, through the center of our bodies, or it could be the other way, coming up through the root chakra and up through the crown. I did feel as though we do need to focus on building our energy up in our solar plexus at the moment, which is sort of about just above the stomach. Okay, so around about where the belly button is, or just a little higher than there. So I did feel as though we need to draw energy in through there. And just build that energy up. So normally it's a color yellow, but I feel as though when we're illuminating it, it becomes almost like goes from yellow to like a very bright white color. So I just feel as though we need to bring our energy in through there. That will help strengthen our emotions and help strengthen our resolve. Whenever we do face triggers, or whenever we do face people who are set to try us, for lack of a better word. Now, another thing I felt as well is wherever you can, get out into nature. If you're lucky enough to have a forest or something near you, or a bushland or something like that, get out there and connect with nature. Get out there and just soak in the energy. You can literally put your hand on plant life and actually merge your energy in. Yeah, you can practice that if you're not used to working with energies, but yeah, just be careful because they can have very, very high energies. Well, yeah, plant life can. So, yeah, but it's a good experience anyway. So, but yeah, definitely being out in nature, going out for walks, deep breathing. The beach is another great place if you can. If you're here in Melbourne, beach might not be a great idea over the next week unless you really like wet sand and rain falling down on you, which, you know what, I wouldn't mind it. I may actually go. But anyway, I feel as though that's important at the moment, connecting with nature. And if you can get out to the beach, that's also good as well. There's natural healing energies there with the salt air. Another thing, probably the last thing I'll mention here as well, is I do feel as though there is more of an awakening energy coming through at the moment. I did feel that with the last energy reading that I did. I still feel as though that's continuing. So there's another batch of people coming through who are beginning to awaken. Another important thing I'll mention here as well is for those of us who think we've awakened, think again. I know I've personally been experiencing another awakening experience. It's like going to another level. I'm receiving, I guess you could say, a lot of us call it downloads, but there's sort of knowledge that we sort of connect in with that I didn't think I'd be connecting in with. And there's definitely more of an awakening experience coming through. So, and that's part of the reason why I've been incognito, so to speak, for the last couple of weeks. And my sincerest apologies if you've put an inquiry through on my website. I will try and respond to those as quickly as I can. I came good for a little while, but then I've just got affected by these energies again. So, I'll jump onto those as quickly as I can. Now, for those of you who do want a reading, please feel free to send a web inquiry. Please be patient if I don't respond straight away. I will respond. So, and I'll be working through, basically working through my my inbox there as quickly as I can. Now, and also, feel free to send through a website inquiry and my website is newearthspiritual.com. My Facebook page also has the same name. I've got the links down below. And also, if you are in Melbourne, the other thing I'd mention there as well is in Berwick tomorrow. We have the Berwick Body, Mind and Spirit event going on. So now that's at 112 High Street in Berwick. It either begins at 10 or 10:30. So, I'd say get there at 10 and we'll see what happens. Someone at the door will say, oh, you've got to wait half an hour, or they might say, come on in. But I will be doing readings there, and there will also be some other very, very talented people there doing readings. We've got people there selling crystals, all sorts of things. Okay, so come down, get yourself a reading, see what else is there. There's plenty going on. It's going to be a fantastic day. And it's only $5 entry to come in. So, feel free to come through for that. It'll be well worth it. All right, I'll leave a link down in the description as well for that event too. Now, on that note, I will be doing some more videos coming up. I do plan to crank out a few more videos. I do want to do some more prediction videos too. Now, the last couple of videos I did, I wasn't too happy with. I didn't really feel like I tuned in as well as I could have. I don't feel like I spent as long. I don't feel like I spent long enough in meditation actually bringing through the information. So part of what I'll be doing over the weekend is doing another general video, but I also want to do one on, I've been led to do one on Ireland at the moment as well. I do feel something with the Irish president there, but anyway, I don't know too much about that yet, so I'll have to tune in and see what's going on and do a video on that. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic evening or a fantastic day wherever you are watching this. And for those of you in Melbourne, I hope I see you tomorrow. And look, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic time. Stay blessed, everyone. See you later. Bye.